Have you ever really paid attention to that annoying itch that sometimes torments you? Have you dismissed it as a simple physical ailment, a banal inconvenience to be ignored or suppressed? What if we told you that the itch can be much more? That it can hide a profound message, a guide for your spiritual growth. If you are curious to discover the hidden meaning of itching, then this Zen story is for you. It will take you on a fascinating journey to discover an ancient wisdom passed down over the centuries by the monks of the Jain temple, immersed in the quiet of the bamboo groves. Get ready to listen to the story of Master Kenzo and his disciples and learn how itching can transform from an annoying symptom into a precious ally on the path to awareness. And stay until the end, because you will discover something about this topic that will leave you speechless. But before continuing, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to stay updated when we publish new content. The morning breeze carried the scent of cherry blossoms through the Jain temple gardens, caressing the skin of Zen Master Kenzo. Sitting in meditation beneath the ancient ginkgo tree, his mind was a tranquil lake, a reflection of a life dedicated to the pursuit of enlightenment. That day, however, a slight itch on his temple disturbed his peace. It was not a simple physical discomfort, he felt it distinctly. It was a subtle message, a whisper coming from the depths of his being. Kenzo smiled. He knew that even the smallest itch could hide a profound meaning, a key to accessing a greater awareness. Dear disciples, he began in a calm voice, addressing the young monks gathered around him. Today I wish to speak to you about itching, a phenomenon that we experience daily, but which we rarely give due consideration to. An expression of surprise appeared on the disciples' faces. The itch. What could this master of wisdom teach them about such a trivial ailment? Master, asked Hannah, a young nun with deep, dark eyes, timidly, isn't itching just the body's reaction to an external stimulus, like an insect bite or an allergy? Of course, Hannah. Kenzo replied with a gentle smile, but itching can be much more. It can be a signal, an invitation to turn our gaze inward, to explore the depths of our mind and spirit. A murmur of curiosity spread among the disciples. Imagine, Kenzo continued, a small pebble in your shoe. At first, you might not notice it, but over time, its presence becomes more and more annoying until you stop to remove it. Itching can act in a similar way. It can be a small pebble in our consciousness, a subtle discomfort that urges us to investigate its origin. But how can we distinguish a physical itch from a spiritual one, Master? Asked Takeshi, a monk with a sturdy build and a watchful gaze. That's a wise question, Takeshi, Kenzo replied. A spiritual itch tends to persist, not responding to common remedies. It often occurs at times of particular stress, uncertainty, or internal conflict. It may be accompanied by emotions such as anxiety, frustration, or repressed anger. Kenzo stood up, inviting his disciples to follow him along a path that wound through the bamboo. I remember, he said, a time in my life when I was tormented by an insistent itch on my back. No medicine seemed to relieve it. Meditating, I understood that the itch was related to a weight I carried on my shoulders, an excessive sense of responsibility that prevented me from living with serenity. The disciples listened attentively, enraptured by the Master's words. I then decided to lighten my load. Kenzo continued, to delegate some tasks, to learn to say no. Gradually, the itch disappeared, along with the weight that oppressed my spirit. When they reached a clearing, Kenzo stopped in front of a small pond. Look, he said, pointing to the water lilies floating on the surface of the water. Plants can suffer from itching too. When their leaves are infested with parasites, they twist and deform. But sometimes their discomfort is caused by a lack of nourishment, dry soil, or too much exposure to the sun. Just like plants, Kenzo explained, we too can experience itching due to imbalances in our environment, our relationships, or our lifestyle. Poor nutrition, lack of sleep, excessive exposure to sensory stimuli can manifest themselves through itching. Master, intervened Yumi, a nun with a sweet smile and curious gaze. If itching can be a sign of imbalance, how can we interpret it and find the right solution? Yumi, Kenzo replied, every itch is unique, just as every person is unique. There is no magic formula. The important thing is to learn to listen to your body, to observe the sensations, emotions, and thoughts that accompany the itch. Meditation can be a valid tool to refine this ability to listen. Kenzo invited his disciples to sit in the clearing and close their eyes. Concentrate on your breathing, he said in a calm voice. Allow your thoughts to flow freely without judgment. If you feel an itch, observe it with curiosity. Where does it appear? What sensations accompany it? What emotions surface? The disciples abandoned themselves to meditation, exploring their inner world. Kenzo watched them benevolently, knowing that each of them would find their own answers, their own path of growth and healing. The sun began to set, painting the sky with shades of gold and orange. Kenzo interrupted his meditation. Dear disciples, he said, the itch can be a stern teacher, but it can also be a wise counselor. By learning to listen to it, we can discover hidden truths about ourselves, rebalance our energies, and live in greater harmony. The disciples took leave of the Master, carrying the wisdom of his words in their hearts. From that day on, the itch was no longer just an annoyance, but an opportunity to deepen one's self-knowledge, to embark on a journey of discovery and inner transformation.